get on each other's nerves, but we're more like family now. And I know that sounds so cheesy, and everybody says it, but it's true. Everybody always says you have your whole life to write your first record, and then you have a minute to write the next one. Well, since we hadn't written a record in close to more than 10 years, I had 10 years worth of material just sitting there.
Leather jacket, empty pockets, and a mean streak you can see. He's a victim of the system and the academic greed.
The reason I didn't think this record was going to happen is because in 2006 we decided that we were done making music together. We decided that we would just kind of keep playing until the fans stopped coming. Well, they never stopped coming. So, and I'm not complaining or laughing. It's amazing. We were so lucky to, no pun intended, that to have this fan base still. And then after Joe passed away, I remember Adam and I texting each other before he died, saying, "Hey man, I got this song," and he's like, "I got these songs. Sorry, not this song. I got these songs. I'd love to work on some stuff again." He's like, "Yeah, man, let's sit down and see what happens." And then Joe passed away, and it just obviously didn't seem like it would have been in poor taste.
Want it to be mine. Now Chicago burns a little brighter. Yet tonight she burns a little brighter. There's something circling here on our street. Everybody's got a taste for blood.
And then time passed again, and the text started. Like, why don't we just get together? So I drove out to Naperville where Adam lives, and before talking to the other guys, just me and Adam, and I went over to his house. I showed him like 30 ideas I had, and we worked on 2 of them, and within 2 hours, and I'm not kidding, I'm not making this up for the story, 2 hours we had 2 songs. And I'm not talking about like, oh, we had the idea. I'm talking about we had it structured out. It was, and on my way home I get a text. I check it when I get home, and it's lyrics to the second verse of Storm Chaser from him. So I could just tell, wow, he's really excited. So I'm excited. So I'm like, hey, why don't we show this to the guys and see what they think? And I was really nervous because I didn't want, Ryan has children, Jason has other things going on in his life, and making a record takes time and a lot of effort and a lot of sacrifice. And when you have a family, you have to explain to them why you want to do this. So I was like, well, the songs are pretty good though. Yeah, I want to show it to the guys, and showed it to them, and they were so excited. And Jason's already noodling on his bass, and Ryan's kind of like playing around. And I'm like, guys, want to do this? Like, let's work on these 2 songs and see what happens. And then it just got more and more exciting as more and more songs came in.
I'm sick of these rendezvous. Please stop giving me. Please stop giving the runaround. I'm sick of these rendezvous. Into the middle ground. Into the middle. Just come around.
So Storm Chaser and Storm Chasers and all of that idea has quite a few different important meanings to me in the band. I'll start with the first one. So Storm Chaser was the first song I wrote for this record. And I wasn't writing for this record. I was just writing songs because I was in another band called Super Happy Fun Club. And I was the main songwriter for that band. So I'm just constantly writing. But something about this song, and I'll get into that in a second, but it had to be a Lucky Boy song, or it was going to be nobody's song. And then when I showed it to Adam, it was a beautiful moment for me, and I hope for him too. But I never told him what the song was about. I didn't have to. He just knew, and we didn't talk about it. We just knew, and we finished the song, and it's about Joe.
Johnny built a rocket ship. He is getting out of here. When nothing's beautiful, you just wanna disappear. But he set up for a motor car.
And really proud that song, being the catalyst for the record, ended up being the title track of the title track of the record, because it's singular and the record's plural. And ended up that the song, song about Joe ended up being that too. So it was like pretty powerful for all of us.
Show me a falling star, then I'll show you who you are, who you are. Thinking like this can make life dangerous.
For me, I just needed to do this. I needed one more album, and hopefully there'll be more after this now. But I just needed this album, so I was gonna take a chance on them breaking my heart, and I'm so glad they didn't. But yeah, in 1997 the band got together. That's the 20-year anniversary. In 1997 the band got together. We recorded a 4-song little EP thing. At a different studio, and it got us, pretty popular. So we said, okay, time to make a record. Well, where do we go? Looked up a bunch of different studios, came over here, ended up recording our first full-length album here in this room, actually, sitting in, just right here, recorded Growing Out of It. And Growing Out of It was our first record. It was 19 songs because that's just what we did. That's just how we did things back then. I sang my vocals for the whole record right there, and that was the beginning of everything. So this place has a lot of fond memories and a pretty soft spot in my heart for this place. Recording wise, technology's changed so much. Growing Out of It was done to tape. Sure, there's tricks that you could do when you're on a major label. So there was a lot of players that weren't amazing, and they could come in and speed up the tape, or there were little tricks and slice up the stuff. But as a local band with like $5,000 budget, you have to be good. You have to be on.
Hi, my name is Rick Barnes. I'm the owner of Rax Trax Recording, and I produce and I engineer, and I had the pleasure of working with Lucky Boys Confusion in the past, and it was really great to work with the guys. Stubby was singing his heart out. I remember that. We were always working on vocals really hard. Adam musically was great. And Joe, fantastic. He really added to it. He was also just such a character and wonderful guy. And Ryan was always very serious about his drumming. Just really wanted it to be good. So it was a driven group, and I really appreciated that because the guys were really working hard, and they wanted to make a good go out of it, and they did. They had a lot of popularity. I remember the Q101 had the popularity contest about biggest band or the best band of the Chicago sort of deal, and Lucky Boys was on that for 15, 17, 20 weeks. Just like all their little, all their fans were calling in and hyping them up, and it was really fun. Those were energy days.
Rock and roll isn't smoke and mirrors. I'll give you hell, can you give it back? Sing-alongs make it so much clearer. These are the pros of insomniacs. Toss and turn till the evil sunrise.
It's been 20 years, and with the same members, and it's a feat that I don't know anybody else that's done it. At least amongst our peers, at least. And we talked about that, and we said, you know what, that's a really big deal. Let's do something different and cool. We always play House of Blues, or we do Metro, or something like that. Let's do something different. So on November 3rd, we're going to play Joe's Live in Rosemont. New venue. Everybody raves about how great the sound is and how cool the venue is. And it's the suburbs, but we're from the suburbs, so like give a little bit of a we're not from Rosemont, but we're from the suburbs. So give a little bit of love back to that area, and that area in general is fun. We were talking about this a little bit, and so I said, let's do that, and let's do a long show, play a lot of old songs that span throughout our 20 years of being a band, and maybe some rarities. And we got a couple bands from our past to get back together and play a show. Treaty of Paris. So those guys we've known for ever. I went to high school with a couple of them, and then Swizzle Tree, who is my brother's band, and we grew up with them. So it's going to be really cool. It's going to be cool to like just be in that venue and doing this, and celebrating the fact that, you know, not only are we together, but it's not like it's just like me and I change the guys around me and it's the same guys. I mean, you know, minus Joe, but that's not because if Joe was alive, he'd be here. How about that? There's no way that he would have quit.
Insomniacs, can we stay up and wait? Insomniac, are we all lost? Insomniacs, don't call it a night. Insomniac, just stay up with me, just stay up with me. Don't call it a night. Don't call it a night. Don't call it a night. Are we all lost? Insomniac. Kind of varsity letter. Screw, we get endless memories. Playing songs together. Keeping up all the neighbors on your street. And if we